Well-Flagged users, this is Robert, and we're going to go over the build 16 changes in the IB provider, Interactive Brokers provider, and also have a preview of the build 18 changes that are coming today, I think. Well, the first thing to know, let's pull up a page. I had it here. Okay. The first thing to know is that build 16 is a breaking change. We upgraded the API to the latest. The one that Interactive TWS is using, Trader Workstation. So, make sure you go over to, if you're going to use the IB provider, download the latest, Twiz latest version. It's got to be 10.12. So the 9.8 versions anymore won't work. And also, you don't need to download the API. We distribute the API with the IB provider, so don't worry about installing the API. Okay, let's just go over the new things. So, one of the things is these batch requests. So if let me quickly show you that for the data manager, IB is first, so we're going to be requesting data from IB. And so if we request a lot of data from IB, let's say 10-minute bars, down here you're going to see the batch requests. So you're not waiting for something to happen without any feedback. A lot of times you have to wait for the data a significant amount of time if you're downloading a lot of intraday data, for example. So now we have these batch requests that you can see. Okay, so that's the messages. Also we got the security name. That's new. And crypto support. Okay, so crypto IB supports 4 symbols. Let's see if I think I've got a watch list here. IB crypto somewhere. Here it is. Okay, so these 4 symbols are supported by IB, so we're in the 10 minutes, so we'll download those. Bitcoin Cash, I think that one is. So you don't need any new trading permissions for the IB, for the data for the crypto symbols, but if you're going to trade them, you do have to log into your account on IB and request the permissions to trade. But you don't, to request the crypto data, you only have to enter the symbol just as you see it there. Looks like we're downloading a lot of batches, yeah. Let's switch to daily data so we can go really quickly here. Let's look at Bitcoin. I want to comment on this bar. That's the way it's returned from IB. So that daily bar, it looks like it's got it's not a 0, it's a 7,000 value in there, but nothing we can do about that unless IB changes that. Okay, so that's crypto. That's part of the build 16 changes. Anything else there? Okay, and another thing that we did is we've really simplified the way you don't really have to use this explicit contract specification anymore when you're requesting futures and options data, at least for the US right now. So for options, the way you request it, I just use the example I have there. So you put in the underlying symbol, the date, so the two-digit year, month, 16. The June contract, for example, for ATVI, the call 67, and if it has a decimal, 67.5, and I'm not going to get any data for this because IB doesn't return options data for daily symbols. So we're requesting. IB finally says, "Oh, forget it, ain't going to happen." So let's go ahead and request some intraday data for that symbol. Oh, sorry, I got to put the symbol back in there now. 2206.17 call 67.5. This was actually a really nice trade for me, actually, so got lucky. And that's so essentially you just put in the underlying symbol, 2-digit year, 2-digit month and day, C or P for call or put, and the strike price, and you get make sure you're requesting an intraday scale, and you'll get the options data. That's for U.S. options. European options, we're not supporting that format yet, but if you want support for European options, let us know, and we'll work on that. Okay, U.S. and Euro futures. Okay, actually Euro futures are supported. It's what the big thing about this is this IBFutures.txt file that we've worked on, and let's see if I can go there quickly. Quick access to my Wealth Lab 7 folder. Okay, and IBFutures.txt. Okay, so what we've done is we've created this text file that has the specifications. Actually, there's a lot of extra information in the one that I have here that doesn't really apply, but essentially, when you want to, if you're trading a future, make sure that it's specified in the format that you see. There's lots of examples here, and probably the one that you want is already here. But if it's not, specify the contract. You have to make sure that you use the first symbol here is the one that you would type into the TWS when you're when you're creating the contract. You want to put the currency, FUT for future, the exchange, the primary exchange that it's traded on. There's you got to put an extra space in there, and then this other symbol sometimes changes. This is the local symbol. Pull up a future symbol here. For example, the VIX. Okay, so for VIX, not the local symbol. The trading class is actually the symbol you're looking for this spot. In any case, many of the future symbols are already created in this IBFutures.txt file, and that simplifies requesting the contract. So to request the contract, let's go back to a chart. You would just type in, for example, VIX, the underlying symbol. You would type in the contract, G for February, and then the 1 or 2 digit year. I would recommend using the 2-digit year, just in case you want to go back 10 years and 20 years when you're using Wealth Lab in 2032 or something, and you want to make sure you get the right contract. So anyway, let's put that symbol in, try to get some intraday data for this contract. Requesting batches, so we know something's happening. Okay, and there you have it. So it's similarly to the options. You just type in the underlying, the letter month for the future, and then the 1 to 2-digit year. And as long as you've got your futures contract specified in that IBFutures.txt file, you'll get the data. The contract will be specified correctly. Let's see, the other part of this, so when you request these contracts, we're going to be adding records to this. It also creates a file called this future specs file. And so essentially, these are the specs that you would enter in markets and symbols. Okay, now you can paste these records. It already has the wildcard specified, and you can paste these records into the markets.txt file. Nope, that's not the right one. Symbols.txt. Yeah. So this is, if you shut down Wealth Lab, you can paste those records from IBFutureSymbolSpecs.txt into the symbols.txt file, and then when you go to your markets and symbols file, the next time you restart Wealth Lab, those symbols will be specified here with the point value and margin and everything. We've got a resource file that specifies the margin value for futures based on the current December, January margin value that IB is using right now. But you want to check those and make sure that the correct one's specified. Data requests. Okay, we have continuous contracts. To get the continuous contract for the VIX, for example, you would just enter VIX, # and then the C. Now, C for continuous. and we're requesting batches here for the 30-minute data again. Now the continuous contracts are ratio adjusted at IB, so once you go back, they're going to be changing constantly. So you'll have to refresh the chart if you want to keep the data up to date with the way you would see it in TWS. I think what we'll do later is we'll probably try to create a process to splice the contract data that you've already downloaded together to create our own continuous spliced contract. That way, when you're backtesting, the tick values are going to be correct, and they're not going to be all mangled by this ratio adjustment that they do for continuous contracts at IB. But anyway, it's there for now. But this is actually a good contract to use if you're looking for trends or something in the data, but not necessarily backtesting with it. So that's there. Okay, so the next thing. I think that's basically all we had for build 16, if that wasn't enough. Now build 18 is coming out today, or later today. It's the 20th of January now. And the thing that's, I'm going to call up a workspace I already have set up here. Now the thing about build 18 is we have streaming bars for IB. So now when you select, I'm going to try to do some streaming bars in crypto. We have this use streaming bar options. This is absolutely recommended for IB now, especially when using the strategy monitor. IB gives us little bars every 5 seconds that we process. And the great thing about this is that when we build the bar for the streaming bars, we get exactly the price data, price and volume data that is returned in historical data for IB. Okay, so since you have the same data for the strategy monitor as the historic bars, your back tests are going to match what you're actually trading. The difference with streaming bars is that the streaming bars actually are conflated from IB. They're only updated every 4 times a second or so, and that results in small changes possibly in the open in the open high-low close. About half the time they match. The other half of the time they're a penny off or 5 cents off or whatever happens to be the case. But streaming bars in the strategy monitor are going to match your historical data. So totally recommend it. Let's just go ahead and start this up. I've got a script that is just going to record. Let's activate that. It's going to record the streaming bars for the 4 cryptos. This is before market, so the next run is in 4 minutes. So when we get there, or a few runs after that, I'll pause and restart the video and show you that the bars match exactly what the historical bars were returned from IB. We're using 5-minute bars. Okay, see you back in a few minutes. Okay, we're back. Let's do this in real time. Down here you can see it's 13:54. This is local time. 13:54, 13:55 is the next run. What the script is doing is saving the last bar to a file that I've got here in a 5-minute. Okay, so this is whatever. We can pick any of them. Bitcoin's usually one. So you can see we have the first run here, and in let's see, we should get another run right about now. So if I click off this and click back on, yeah, there's the new bar that we just got. Okay, so let's call up a 5-minute, request a 5-minute bar of Bitcoin. Oops, let me get some 5-minute bars. Okay, there we go. Okay, so the last 2 bars should match the ones that I have here. So let's down here, put this up here. This might work. Okay. So if I scroll over this bar, this is the first bar that popped up at 150. Okay, so we have 1350. Let's go over this second to last bar. Prices are exactly correct, exactly the same. And let's look at the volume. The volume should be exactly right too. So this is better. thought I had that fixed. Okay, so here's the Bitcoin. Volume is 0.10. Okay, that's as good as we can do for the well thought chart. And then for the next one is 0.24, where we're at 0.237. Okay, and you can check that those values exactly match. So that's streaming bars. Okay, so I think that wraps it up. I hope that everybody enjoys the IB provider now, and it should be a lot easier to use, and we'll keep making improvements as time goes on. Anyway, until next time, Build 46 and IB Build 18 is coming out today. Enjoy.